I hope you enjoyed that minute of me just eating. But when your lighting's behind you, but you need to charge your phone, so you're just gonna end up with bad lighting for the video. Sorry. Stop it, Sam. My cat's underneath me. But today we are going to be... Let me do back up. I'm afraid I'm gonna hurt one of my cats. Oh no. It was the towel. And ignore my hair. I don't feel like doing my bangs, so we got the only headband I have. And it has cat ears on it. But anyway. Today we are going to be talking about my birth control, which is Nexaplon. I believe that's how you pronounce it, but I will put it on the screen somewhere over here, the spelling of it. So if you want to search it up and read your own stuff about it, you can, but you probably already know all of this stuff. I just feel like it's nice to hear other people's opinions and like effects that it had on the body. But I've had it for about 2 months, and it's the implant birth control that goes into your arm, your non-dominant arm. And we're going to be talking about, I wrote stuff down so I wouldn't forget, 4 different subjects, which I will, every time I switch a subject, I will put it up here. But the first one is side effects. I'm going to read all the side effects on the Nexaplon website that it says. Then I'm going to be talking about my procedure, or like how it went that day. And then I'll be talking about my side effects. So I'm going to be talking about side effects that it like possibly might have, but I'm going to talk about them later on, about the side effects and what it, like, things like that. And then the last thing is my thoughts. So let's get into it. So the first part, I feel like this is going to be a longer video than my life update. That's kind of sad. But the first part of this video is the side effects. So on the Nexaplon website, which if you legit type in nexaplon.com, you legit, that's the website. But if you guys want, I'll put it down below so that you know what I'm reading this off of. But it says the most common side effects are longer or shorter bleeding during your periods, no bleeding at all, spotting between your periods, or varied amount of times in between your periods. So the most common thing is a change in your period or your cycle. And then other frequent side effects are mood swings, weight gain, headache, acne, and depressed mood, which I think every birth control gives you depressed mood. A lot of people get that. And then other common side effects are, we've already, vaginitis, inflammation of the, breast pain, viral infections such as sore throats or flu-like symptoms, painful periods, nervousness, I cannot read, back pain, nausea, dizziness, pain at the site of insertion, which I also feel like I just am reading, sorry I didn't read this, possible risk. I feel like that's important to put in here, but you guys of course can search this all up. I feel like it's best to search it up. Even talk to your doctor about this stuff, like that's what I did, but I didn't get all the details from her. I pretty much Google searched, and to be honest, I made a goof mistake and got the implant, and then kept Google searching my, like, oh, is this a common side effect, and then realizing I probably should have looked that all up before I've gotten it done to see if I really wanted to do this. But some risks are the implants have been reported to be found in blood vessels, including blood vessels in the lungs. That was the scariest part for me, but what I do is check it every single morning and see if it's still there. a lot of the risks are in the actual physical getting the procedure done. It might not be done properly due to I don't know what. When I talk about this procedure, I guess I'll better explain like how it could not be done properly, but that could be a reason. And also with removing it, because it might not be where it should be. But other problems related to insertion and removal are pain, irritation, swelling, or bruising at the insertion site. I believe I'm saying that correctly. Scarring, infections, scar tissue. The implant may come out by itself. You may become pregnant if the implant moves or it comes out. The need of surgery in the hospital to remove the implant, injury to the nerves or blood vessels in your arm, or the implant breaks, making removal difficult. Also, another common side effect if you do become pregnant while you have this birth control, ectopic pregnancies are very common with that. Or the next section, which is the procedure. So you get this done in a doctor's office, your gynecologist. So normally you call them up, tell them, so what happened was I went to them to get a refill of my birth control that I was on now, and I'm gonna be truthful, I was awful at taking my birth control, the pill one. I always seem to forget it all the time. But so I wanted another way where I didn't have to think about it, and I just knew I'd be safe and it'd be okay. So we talked about it. I have a blood clotting disorder, so there's only certain kind of birth control I can take. And I have a friend who has the same blood clotting disorder, and she's like, I heard that it's not so good and blah blah blah. So yes, this birth control can cause, like a lot of birth controls can cause an increase in having blood clots, but this one is, it's not. This one is just a progesterone implant or hormone. It does not have the combination hormone, so that's why it's better for me, but still I feel like with any medication there's still a slight chance that it can happen. So yes, with this birth control there is still a slight chance that you could get blood clots, but that's with anyone. Like I might, yeah. What was I going? Procedure. So I was talking to her about it, and I was like, I'm looking into wanting to change my birth control, and she went over the different ones I could have, and then I talked to her, and then I thought about it for a good couple of weeks and waited until my health insurance plan changed. And once it changed, I called them back up, said I wanted to get this birth control. They then had to run it through my insurance, which took about a week and a half, and then they called me back to schedule the appointment once everything went through my health insurance. So after that, I scheduled the appointment and went to the gynecologist. So then you go back into the room, into the normal gynecologist doctor office room. They make you pee in a cup to make sure you're not pregnant, because you can't get the birth control in your arm. They put it in your non-dominant hand, so that's my left hand, and you pretty much lay back and are like this actually, and then they rub you, and she marks where she wanted to put it, and then they give you a shot of numbing and rub that in. That's actually the most painful part of it, was the shot of numbing medicine, I guess that's what we can call it. And then after that, the physical Nexplanon insertion has a tool, like a special tool for it, and it's like it goes and clicks in and then shoots it in. I don't know, I never really saw it because I couldn't really look at it, but I did see the tool, and I think that's where, like I said, I was going to mention this, that is where things probably could go tricky. Something could be wrong with that tool of insertion that makes the Nexplanon not go in properly. So that's probably where it could go wrong, or on the doctor's behalf that it could go wrong. But then so after the pain, the numbing medicine, that's what, numbing medicine, I did not feel a thing of the Nexaplon going in. And then she bandaged me up and I was out of there. I was in there a total of an hour, but I was pretty much waiting for 45 minutes, and then the procedure itself was 10 minutes. It was a very short procedure, nothing scary, and I had that day off of work because I thought that was just best for me, because at the job I was at currently, I was typing and stuff like that, and I didn't want to be moving my arm too much. So that was the procedure. And now I will be talking about my side effects. So I am going to, this is where things, I'm just going to put a warning at the beginning of the video that things are going to be graphic, but this is especially where things are going to be a little gross looking possibly. If you're a little squeamish, I'm sorry. But as I talk about it, I will go through the pictures and all that, which pictures are on this phone, but I'll just go through it week by week. But I need a calendar for this. Okay. So I got it done February 4th. And she told me to keep the bandage on it with the gauze on it for 24 hours. So Tuesday I was off as well. I took off the bandage and didn't notice anything too crazy, but I will show you the picture of what my arm looked with the bandage on. And I think the next picture I have is on Wednesday, which was the 6th, and that's when I started bruising. And I think I was bruised all the way up until like the 22nd of February. Like almost the end of February I was bruised. But I'm not bruised anymore, but I will show you here. Okay, now on to the side effects. So the side effects I got was they recommend that you be inserted with Nexaplon when you're on your period. So that's why it was done on the 4th. I had my period then. I stopped my period, and no joke, like 5 days later, I'm bleeding again. And I bleed from then to the end of February. And I'm thinking to myself, for those 3 weeks, pretty much, I regret getting Nexaplon. If I'm just gonna bleed the whole entire time, I don't want it in my arm anymore. But the thing is, the doctor would not remove it until 6 months from now, because she wanted me to commit to it for 6 months. So I knew that I'd be stuck with it for 6 months and possibly bleeding like that forever. I'll mention also some weird side effects. I don't know if it's part of it, but I've just noticed it after I've gotten this implant. I did get flu-like, I do occasionally get flu-like symptoms like sore throat, which was mentioned as a side effect. So I do get that occasionally, which I never thought of. But one of those flu-like symptoms is, like fever chills. I'm cold all the time. All the time. I used to not be like that. Like, I legit can wear a sweatshirt in 90-degree weather because I'm cold. So what was it? Yeah, I'm cold. When I get cold, the actual place where my implant is hurts. It like physically hurts. But the good side effect is I no longer have periods. which some people might not think that's good, but I think it's good. And that was kind of one reason why I wanted a different birth control, was because my birth control was not helping me in any way, shape, or form with my periods. But Nexaplon has completely stopped it. I did bleed for 3 weeks straight, but now I have not bled once this whole entire month, even though I was supposed to. So those are my side effects. I do get a lot more back pain than normal, but nothing crazy. It's just if I sleep in certain positions, I notice that it hurts more than other times. I also started a new job, which was a lot more labor than I'm used to. I'm just a nanny, but like picking up the kids and stuff and that. So that again might not be related to the Nexaplon, but I do want to include that. Again, I don't know if me being cold all the time is related to the Nexaplon. But those are my side effects. I stopped bleeding, but I did bleed for 3 weeks, and that drove me insane, and I thought, I don't want this anymore. I just realized that that might happen, but it might stop. Or you might be one of the sad people that bleed the whole entire time you're on Nexaplon. And I do apologize. That's why I recommend talking to your doctor about it. Trying to think what other side effects I personally have had. I think those are it. Flu-like symptoms. I'm cold all the time. My back occasionally hurts. But nothing too like crazy. And I stopped my period. I think that was everything. So the last and final section are my thoughts. My thoughts are, I personally love Nexaplon. I hear a lot of negative thoughts about it more than positive, but it has worked for me. It doesn't always work for everyone. That's why, again, I think everyone should talk to their doctors, their gynecologists about this, and talk to them about their concerns and see what would work for you guys. It has worked amazing for me. I probably will be keeping it for the 3 years, unless somehow along those 3 years I find a husband and, you know, we decide to have a kid, but I won't be having it for 3 years. Most definitely I see myself. After those 3 years, I don't know if I would get it again. It would just depend on how those 3 years work. But so far I'm very happy with it. I was very weary about it at the beginning, but I am very happy with it now. So my thoughts are 100%. I'm keeping it. I love it. But I will also keep you guys updated about it if that thought has changed or I've decided to take it out, to let you guys know. So I think that's it. But thank you so much for watching. Again, one last final, I probably said this so many times throughout the video, please talk to your doctor about this. Do not take my word. I just feel like these certain things should have opinions out there, because I feel like if I saw more opinions about this, I probably might have not gotten it. So I feel like if I saw opinions out there before I got it, I probably would have not gotten it. So I feel like that is why I'm making it. I'm not making it to say please get it or please don't get it. This is your decision, and also I feel like it's your decision with your doctor or your gynecologist. But with that, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy. Please subscribe. All my social medias will be down below, including the website I use to get all this information from, so that you know what I was reading off of. You know what I didn't do last time? A question of the video. So a question that I'm gonna leave you with is, do you guys have any pets? Because my last video was about my kittens. So the question is, do you guys have any pets? Thank you so much. Bye.